pinaggagamitan ng ating pinasang tao ng budget. It is our duty to get the bottom. It is our duty to get to the bottom of this. Kahit sisirin pa natin ito kung kinakailangan. No stone shall be left unturned and no one shall be spared. Pagtulungan po nating hanapin ang katotohanan at tuluyang makapaglatag ng epektibo at pangmatagal ang solusyon sa suliranin natin sa pagbaha. Kahit mahirap o tila imposible, pero sa tulong ng bawat isang Pilipino na may pakialam at pagmamahal sa kanyang bansa, ito ay tiyak nating may pagtatagumpay. Maraming salamat po. I now declare this hearing officially open. I direct the Director General to please call the roll.
With your permission, Mr. Chair, may I proceed with calling the roll?
Please proceed.
From the Commission on Audit, Attorney Gabriel Cordoba, he's represented by Tracy Ann Sunico, OIC of Director 3. From the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Pangandaman confirmed her attendance, but she will arrive a little later. In the meantime, she will be represented by Yusek Rolando Toledo and Yusek Abuel. Director Maria Crescencia D. Sunga from the Budget Management Bureau A, BMB-A. From the Department of Public Works, Secretary Manuel Bonoan, Senior Undersecretary Emil Sadain, Undersecretary Eugenio Pipo, Assistant Secretary Loretta Malaluan, Assistant Secretary Constante Llanes Jr., Ms. Luz de la Rosa, Director Internal Audit Service, Regional Directors Gerard Opulencia, NCR, Roselier Tolentino, Region 3, Jovel Mendoza, Region 4A, and Regional Director Virgilio Eduarte, Region 5. From the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, DNR Nambria, Engineer Glicerio Yare. From DOST Pag-asa, Dr. Nathaniel Servando. From Metro Manila Development Authority, Attorney Romando Artes, who will be arriving late because he has a court hearing at this hour. Already here. Okay, thank you. The construction companies, Mr. Alex Abelido, President, Legacy Construction Corporation. Can you raise your hand? Present siya dito. Ms. Cesara Discaya, an invitation was sent to her, but she sent an excuse letter saying that she had a prior commitment. Ms. Maria Roma Angeline Rimando, she cannot attend because she's still suffering from grief due to untimely demise of her foster mother parent. Mr. Alan Kirante, QM Builders, there. Mr. Ernie Bagao, owner proprietor EGB Construction Corporation. Mr. Iumir Villanueva, president of Top Notch Catalyst Builders, Inc. He cannot attend because he has a previously scheduled medical procedure today at the Asian Hospital. Mr. Lawrence Lubiano, president, Centerways Construction and Development, Inc., represented by Attorney Regidor Ponferrada. Ms. Aderma Angeli Alcazar, President CEO of SunWest Incorporated. She cannot attend. She sent a letter stating that she is currently on scheduled leave to attend to personal family matters abroad. She avers that she left the country on 13 August 2025 and will not be able to make it back to the Philippines in time for this hearing. Mr. Edgar Acosta, High Tone Construction Development Corporation, an invitation was sent but we have not received a reply as of this moment. Mr. Wilfredo Natividad, Owner General Manager, 888 Construction and Supply Inc. Mr. Romeo Miranda, President AMO Royal Crown Monarch Construction and Supplies Corporation. Invitations were sent, but no reply has been received yet. Mr. Mark Alan Arevalo, Wawaw Builders General Manager. An invitation has also been sent, but a reply has not been received so far. Ms. Marjorie Samidan, she cannot attend, but she will send a representative. This is the authorized managing officer of MG Samidan Construction. There. He is represented by Mr. Cliff Samidan. Mr. Luisito Tiki cannot attend, requests that he be excused from attending today's hearing due to health reasons, and since they received the invitation late afternoon of 18 August, they will not be able, and it will not be possible for them to complete its review of the possible projects to determine who to send as representative. And last but not least, Mr. Ryan Willie D. Uy, President, Road Edge Trading and Development Services. Before I end, Mr. Chair, may I also be allowed to recognize ASEC Mary Ann de la Vega of the Department of Budget and Management. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair?
Before that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator J.B. Hercito and Senator Mark Villar. Yes, Senator Bato?
Mr. Chair, may I move for the issuance of subpoena to those absent invited resource persons, particularly yung mga contractors, Mr. Chair, to require them to be present in the next hearing. I so move, Mr. Chair.
I think the motion is in order. No objection? The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
May I ask the Director General as to the number of invitations sent to the 15 invited contractors, as to how many successfully presented themselves today or at least sent representatives?
Your Honor, we sent 15 invitations to 15 contractors.
And how many replied to your invitation?
One, 11 replied, Your Honor. And of the 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are represented here, either by the owner himself or by a representative, Your Honor.
So seven out of 15 are represented today in this hearing, Mr. Director General.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the rest simply replied, but did not send representatives.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just hope this is not the sign of disinterest on their part, because this meeting is called precisely to get to the bottom of this problem.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, siguro pag when we invite them, I mean not invite, subpoena them next hearing, they have to come up with a reasonable answer. Hindi ho yung may sakit, may nauna, para hong ginagago itong committee natin na may sakit, nagbakasyon na, may mga prior schedule. Ano mas importante, prior schedule, Mr. Chair? Or itong investigasyon ito? Because 544 billion na pinag-uusapan natin. Not a small change, Mr. Chair. Yun lang po.
Manifestation is noted. May I remind the representatives of private lawyers of our resource persons present here today, pwede po kayong relax muna kayo at huwag kayong aalis. I will now direct the Director General to acknowledge the presence of our resource persons and thereafter administer the oath to them.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I proceed? Those who have been invited here, kindly please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Thank you. You may take your seats. Mr. Chair, for the record, they all said yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Director General. I acknowledge the presence of Senator Gatchalian and Senator Bongo. The President of the Philippines made initial observations and findings in regard to the subject matter of the present inquiry. The amount of some 100 billion pesos or 18% of the entire 545 billion budget for flood control projects between July 2022 to May 2025 was awarded to only 15 out of 2,409 accredited contractors in the country. Question: is this statement of the President fair? Silence means acquiescence. So, Chairman notes that all present today agrees to the statement of the President. And the 15 contractors referred to were invited as early as last Saturday, Director General, Friday, and at least 7 of them replied and sent representatives this morning. Legacy Construction Corporation, Alpha and Omega General Contractor and Development Corporation, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, QM Builders, EGB Construction Corporation, Top-Notch Catalyst Builders, Inc., Centerways Construction and Development, Inc., SunWest, Inc., Highton Construction and Development Corporation, 888 Construction and Supply, Inc., Royal Crown Monarch Construction and Supplies Corporations, Wawo Builders, MG Samidan Construction, LRTK Builders, Inc., and Road Edge Trading and Development Services. These 15 contractors were mentioned by the President. The President also noted that 5 of these 15 contractors have projects in almost all regions nationwide. He mentioned Legacy Construction Corporation, Alpha and Omega General Contractors and Development Corporation, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, EGB Construction Corporation, and Road Edge Trading and Development Services. Is the President correct? Your silence is also acquiescence. So the President fairly reported this accurately. Wala pong problema so far? The President also noted that there appears a mismatch between the most flood-prone areas based on National Adaptation Plan of the Philippines 2023-2025. Kasi yung mga flood-prone areas nasa ating National Adaptation Plan of the Philippines. Ito po yung mga probinsya ng Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Tarlac, Bulacan, Metro Manila, Maguindanao, North Cotabato, Oriental Mindoro, and Ilocos Norte. These are the flood-prone areas. As opposed to the top 10 provinces awarded with the highest number of flood control projects by the DPWH. Bulacan, 668 flood control projects. Cebu, 414. Isabela, 341. Pangasinan, 313. Pampanga, 292. Albay, 273. Leyte, 262. Tarlac, 258. Camarines Sur, 252. Ilocos Norte, 224 flood control projects. This shows that only 4 among those considered flood-prone areas ang nandito pong nabigyan ng kaukulang mga projects. The rest ay wala po sa flood-prone areas. This is the initial observation of the President. Is his observation fair enough to you? Meron po bang gustong kumontra sa observation ng President? So silence is acquiescence. Ang sabi pa ng Pangulo, more than 350 billion or 6,021 flood control projects do not specify the exact type of flood control that is being built. Halimbawa po, kung repair works yun, o kaya cut-off channel, o dikes, o drainage structures, flood mitigation structures, retarding basin, revetment, slope protection spur dikes, waterways, or embankments, walang ganun eh. Sabi niya, hindi man lang dinidescribe ito eh. 350 billion worth of projects defy basic description. Or 6,021 flood control projects. Many of these projects are in different locations but have exactly the same contractor and contract cost. This is disturbing. This is one of the initial observations of the President. Do you believe?
Big dreams start small. From getting your domain to creating your website, email, and online security, we've got you covered. You don't need to be a tech expert. You just need a starting point. Your brand starts here with GoDaddy.
Meron pong ginawang actual na inspection ang Pangulo. In Kalumpit, Bulacan. Lumabas po ito sa mga dyaryo. Initial inspection showed the dike appeared to have not followed the right specifications, sabi po dun sa dyaryo, of materials, and also appeared to have gaps in the dike that made it incomplete. Nagpakuha po ng scuba divers ang Presidente. This is what they call tactile inspection. Nakita po nila doon ang ito po nakalagay. Scuba divers were dispatched to assess the flood control project. They reported that the concrete underwater was of varying thickness and was shaddily built. The divers also reported the steel reinforcement were not driven into the river, so water still flowed underneath. Let us break that down. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito, kahit kami po hindi naman inhinyero, karaniwang po sa inyo lahat ngayon ay engineer. Hindi po nasunod yung specification. Dito lamang po lumilitaw yung mga tinatawag na seat piles. Hindi po ibinaon sa tamang lalim. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Karaniwan po, and I think you will all agree, 6 meters po yung seat piles. Talaga pong pipiliting ibaon yun. Yung 5 na metro ibabaon mo, maaaring ang lilitaw na lamang na nakikita mo is 1 meter. What is the significance of that? Kasi kinakailangan ma-address mo yung scouring ng river. Pag hindi umabot, ando sa punto na yung cascading waters will be gradually eroding the soil. Ang lalabas nun, nakabitin na yung inyong nakabitin na yung seat piles na kunwari ibinaon nyo ng 5 meters. Ano mangyayari kung nakikita na po yun? Babagsak po talaga yung slope protection na inilagay ninyo. Ito yung kaawa-awang kalagayan nito eh. Nakita pa po yung Upon tactile inspection, the drivers found that the beam was no longer connected to the seat pile support. Yung beam na sinasabi niya, this is the apron. Tama po ba yun? The apron is the basic structure that will hold the seat piles. Kung wala po yung apron na yon na magkukonect dun sa slope, walang integrity yung project na ito. Babagsak at babagsak ito. Mamaya po meron kaming ipakikita sa inyo kung bakit ganito kalala ang problema ng ating bansa. Ready ba yung isang slide natin para makita lang yung karon tayo po ng idea kung ano yung revetment. Ito kasing binisita po ng Pangulo, embankment po ito, dike po ito eh. Yung embankment po, pangkaraniwan pagka dike, ginagamit din kahit na mga tricycle lang, mga motor nakakadaan. Pero dapat merong slope protection yun eh. Pagka yung embankment lang, pagkatapos yung binaon yung bakal, wala pa rin, magigiba yun. Ready po ba tayo doon sa isang slide para magkaroon? Ayan po. Ano po yung tawag dyan, Secretary Bunuan? Di ba revetment yan?
Revetment, Your Honor.
Ayan po, ang kaawa-awang kalagayan ng revetment, meron pa pong nota dyan sa nagbigay sa akin. 80% lupa, 15% semento, plus 5% bakal equals pera. Ano po dapat yung reinforcing bars nitong revetment na ito? Kasi po wala eh. Kahit na po siguro kawayan lang, wala yan eh. Tingnan po ninyo. Wala pa po tubig ito. This is supposed to be, siguro medyo river po ito eh. Tatagal po ba ito, Secretary? Itong ganito?
Hindi siguro, Your Honor. I think this is a failure of the structure in itself.
So, dapat wala nang siguro. Tsakin mo. Tatagal ba ito?
Hindi po.
Alam po nyo kung saan ito? Kayang-kaya naman po ninyong ma-identify. Nasaan po yung mga district engineers nyo? Para wag na po sabihin kung kanino galing yan. Kasi malalaman din po natin yun eh. Why do you think the contractor of this project adopted this kind of anomalous activity? Marami pong ibig sabihin yan eh. Meron tayong kasabihan, Chair Erwin, the picture paints 1,000 words. Dito po, hindi words, perang nakalagay. 80% lupa plus 15% semento, plus 5% pera, 5% bakal. Ano daw, Chairman? 5% bakal. Oo nga, equals? This is a microcosm of the projects. I think this completely represents the project na ginagawa po ngayon. Kaya wala po talagang mangyayari sa sa mga projects. Ang contractor po nito ay St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Nandito po ba ang representative? Ang sinasabi ko po yung kalumpit. Hindi ko po sinasabi ito. Ito ano lang po ito. Ibang project po ito. Pinakikita ko lang para magkaroon po ng idea ang mga kababayan natin kung sila'y sumusubaybay sa atin. Pero yung sinasabi natin sa Kalumpit, Bulacan kanina, ang contractor po, ito yung embankment, is St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Meron po bang representative ngayon? Ito? Roma Angeline? The representative is one Miss Maria Roma Angeline Remando. Nandyan po ba kayo, Madam? Nawala po kayo? Kanina po. Wala. Wala pala sila. Before we continue, let me acknowledge the presence of Senator Joel, our Majority Leader.
Thank you.
Before I continue, some of my colleagues would like to make short opening statements, no longer than 2 minutes, please. Let me acknowledge also the arrival of Senator Bam Aquino. Any one of my colleagues who want to...
The first one to arrive.
2 minutes, sir. Thank you.
1 minute lang, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, good morning. Good morning, everyone, our resource persons. Good morning po. I just would like to quote the very famous impression made by our majority leader, Senator Joel Villanueva, that according to him, na kung itong ating flood control funds, no, pondo na dedicated to flood control, divided by the number of days in 1 year, which is 365 days, it will amount to 1 billion pesos per day government expenditure dedicated to flood control projects only. So, sa ordinaryong tao, pag ito'y kanilang narinig, talagang lalong-lalo na, including me, at lalong-lalo na yung mga taong kasalukuyang nabibiktima sa mga baha. Iniisip nila na sana yung 1 billion a day na yan, binigay na lang yan sa amin at kami na ang gumagawa ng flood control dito sa aming lugar para ma-mitigate yung sitwasyon na ito. But anyway, we are not entirely blaming everything to the projects. Meron tayong, we have a plethora of reasons bakit nangyayari ito. Meron tayong climate change, meron tayong sinasabing yung reclamation and other reasons. Pero yun nga, sa ordinaryong tao, kailangan maklaro natin ito. Kaya ako, personally, for myself, and I hope the chairman and the rest of the members of this committee would share with me in my quest na sana, during this hearing, ma-establish talaga natin ito for the benefit of our people na nanonood ngayon. Number one, these are not ghost projects. Number two, sana itong mga project na ito ay hindi ito yung quasi-physical and quasi-spiritual. Meaning yung project na sinimulan lang pakilang tao, then afterwards, pinabayaan, wala nang nangyari. At kung number three, kung ito ay talagang ang estado nito mga proyekto na ito ay fully implemented, physically implemented, did it serve its purpose? Bakit Mr. Chairman? Thank you.
you for your 2.5 minutes, Senator Bato. Following the order of arrival, I will call on Senator Rapi Tulfo for his 2 minutes.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Ako po ay magbibigay ng senaryo kung paano po mahilentulad sa karneng baka sa palengke ang ilang bilyones na napupunta sa flood control. At kung paano po ito kinakatay, china-chop-chop, at niluluto. Nagsisimula po yan sa isang proponent na kung saan ay kakatay po siya ng, say, 20 billion pesos mula sa NEP, BICAM, and ang program appropriation. Now, itong proponent na ito ay dadalhin niya ang 20 billion na nakatay niya doon sa mga nabanggit ko, NEP, BICAM, and program sa Region 4B. Na kung saan ang regional director doon ay isang nagngangalan Mr. Gerald Pakanan, excuse me. Now, yung 10 billion, si proponent na ang gagawa ng project dahil meron naman siyang kumpanya na nagkukontrata. So, ibig sabihin siya po isang contractor. So, hindi na po natin malaman kung magkano eksakto ang kanyang kikitain doon sa 10 billion. Pero, ang estimate po, abot ng 60%, kita niya, 40% na lang mapupunta sa project. Ano mangyayari po doon sa 10 billion na titira? Siyempre, kukunin po yun ni Mr. Pakanan. At yung 5 billion, si Mr. Pakanan na po ang gagawa ng project dahil meron din po siyang sariling kumpanya na nangungontrata. And of course, doon sa 5 billion niya, magbibigay siya ng 28% SOP sa proponent. Now, anong mangyari doon sa 5 billion na natitira na? Yun po ay bibigyan ni Mr. Pakanan sa kanyang mga kaibigang kontraktor. And of course, again, si proponent kikita po ng 28%. Si Mr. Pakanan kikita ng 18%. Yung mga kontraktor, of course, kikita din yun 30%. Alisin po natin dyan yung 7% para sa tax sa BIR of VAT. At meron pa pong 3.5% para sa tinatawag na EAO, Engineering and Administrative Overhead. Kasama po dyan bids, awards committee, at kung ano na pa. So 3.5%. I-add nyo po yan total, 86.5%. Magkano lang po napupunta sa project? 13.5%. Ganun po yung kalokohang nangyayari dyan sa Region 4B. Now, kunti na lang, Mr. Chairman. 40% ang ibinabayad agad sa mga contractor at kay proponent kahit hindi pa po tapos ang project o kahit hindi pa gawa ang project at gagawa po sila ng mga fake accomplishment report, dinodoktor. Yan po yung example lamang kung paano po binabalasubas ang pera para sa flood control na dapat po ay imbestigahan ng committee ito sa susunod po ng mga hearing. By the way, isang Ryan Altea ang nagpakilala dito kay Mr. Gerald Pakanan doon sa isang proponent. So, ibig sabihin ito, si Mr. Altea ay well-connected na ngayon po ay na-promote pa. Ang daming kalokong ginagawa, na-promote at siya po ngayon ay isang direktor sa main office. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. For the record, that's 3 minutes.
Oh,
Before I continue, let me acknowledge the arrival of our Senate President Pro Tempore, Jingo Estrada. So let's continue with Senator Erwin Tulfo. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
545.64 billion pesos of flood control. This is nothing less than a grand robbery of our nation. Sa salitang kalye, pagnanakaw to the max. DPWH officials, contractors, and their cohorts in public office need not explain anymore because we already have an answer why year after year flood waters still drown our communities while their bank accounts are flooded with taxpayers' money. Bago pa man may sakatuparan ang isang proyekto, hinihinga na po ng 20 hanggang 25% na komisyon ang mga kontratista, masaklap po ng ilang mga politiko. Yan po ang dahilan kung bakit substandard o palpak ang mga proyekto at karamihan ay ghost projects na. Ang sistemang ito dumadaan mula sa politiko, undersecretaries, regional director, district engineer hanggang sa project engineers. At sa bawat opisyal na dadaanan pa ng flood control project na ito ay nakakaltasan pa ito ng 2 hanggang 5%. Halimbawa, kung ang proyekto ay pinondohan 100 milyon, nasa 40 to 30 milyon na lang po ang halaga nito pag nagawa na dahil sa mga komisyon o kickback simula sa itaas hanggang sa ibaba. At kadalasan ay ghost project na lang ang flood control. Let me ask, sino-sino ang kumita habang libu-libong Pilipino ang nalulunod sa baha? Mr. Chair, we cannot hide behind technicalities anymore. Names must be named, heads must roll. The Filipino people are tired of endless excuses and lies while corruption continues to thrive. Ilan sa mga government projects ng DPWH ay sila mismo ang gumagawa o tumitira nito na kung tawagin nila ay in-house construction. At ang resulta ng in-house construction na ito ay ghost projects nga. Ilan kasi sa mga opisyal dyan ay mga kontratista o di kaya mga construction company. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit napakaraming mga bilyonaryo at bilyonarya sa DPWH na nagmamayari ng eroplano, daan-daang milyong halaga ng mansyon sa mamahaling subdivision sa Metro Manila. May kasama pa pong kasino. At kapag natalo sa kasino o sa sabong, hindi niya nararamdaman kahit milyon ang talo. This committee, Mr. Chair, must not only expose the truth, but also ensure that those guilty are punished, whether they are past or present officials, contractors or protectors in higher office. Kung may nakinabang dito, hindi po ang bayan, kundi ang mga magnanakaw sa pamahalaan. And today, this Blue Ribbon Committee, Mr. Chair, shall make sure that this is the day of reckoning. Tamaan na po ang tamaan, kaibigan, kasamahan, kamag-anak o matataas na opisyal. Justice must be served. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Erwin. Sabi mo, names must be named. Sana sinabi mo na yung mga pangalan ng mga politiko eh. Pero may oras ka pa naman, maya-maya ng konti. Kung may listahan ka dyan, banggitin na natin lahat ang mga dapat banggitin. May I now recognize Senator J.B. Ejercito for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This will be very brief. Of course, we would want to start with the questions already and si clarification already. Sa nakikita ko po, Mr. Chair, na pag-usapan na po, nabanggit niyo po na 350 billion ang taon-taong budget, pero parang hindi po natin nakikita. We cannot fight nature, but doon po mga flood control projects, dapat sa lalong madaling panahon, dapat na ilalabas ka agad ang tubig. Yun po ang importante. Ang katanungan ko lang po, doon sa 350 billion, saan po ba ito napupunta? Yan ang gusto natin malaman. Nasusunod ba yung master plan, kung meron nga ba? Pero simple lang po ang aking analysis, Mr. Chair, sa 350 billion, nabanggit ninyo kanina, yung flood-prone provinces, areas, may mismatch po kung saan napupunta yung bulk ng mga proyekto na flood control. Mr. Chair, kung hindi nasusunod ng flood ang ating pong master plan, kung pinaghahati-hatian ng bawat distrito ang flood control management, ang mangyayari po niyan ay patsi-patsi po talaga ang ating proyekto. In flood-prone areas like Central Luzon, magmula Tarlac, Pampanga, Bulacan hanggang Metro Manila, ang kailangan po natin dyan ay mga floodways, spillways, impounding areas, and strategic pumping stations para talagang mailikas o imalabas ang tubig. Pero kung panay slope protection, drainage improvement at iba pang maliliit na proyekto lamang ang ating makikita, ay hindi natin talaga mahanapan mabibigyan ng solusyon ang pagbabaha. Siguro simple lang, Mr. Chair, tayo po at yung mga opisyal, hindi ho tayo biktima. Ang nakakaawa, yung mga biktima na pagbabaha na pinaghirapan po nila, sasakyan, motorsiklo, refrigerator at lahat na kanilang pong pinaghirapan ay taon-taon, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, pangatlong taon na tayo mula akong nakabalik. 3 taon na itong inaano ng ating majority leader. Siya po yung nagagalit na rito dahil siya po yung taga Bulacan. Pare-pareho ang issue, pare-pareho ang sagot. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Pag pinaghati-hatian, patsipo-tsipo talaga. Yung tubig po, hahanap ng lulusutan at lulusutan. Yung hindi po buo ay talagang magbabaha pa rin. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator JV. I forgot the tradition. I'm sorry, I am a neophyte senator. I am guided by the tradition that the ex officio officers should first be given priority in their opening statement. So I call on the majority leader, Joel Villanueva.
Thank you to our principal, and siguro with that, the majority leader and the SPPT would get additional 30 seconds, Mr. Chairman. But kidding aside, Mr. Chairman, may I just direct the attention of everyone to the screen? Maikling-maikli lang po ito. We can play this video, please.
Hindi tama, palpak ang ating flood control program. Meron po tayong 183 billion na budget ang DPWH alone. Hindi kasama ang DENR, hindi kasama ang ilang ahensya ng pamahalaan. And yet, tingnan nyo, dito sa Bulacan, about 1.7 billion. Pero halos lahat ng towns, lubog. Dito sa Kalumpit, lahat ng barangay, lubog. Dun sa Hagonoy, lahat ng barangay, lubog.
Mr. Chairman, ito pong video na ito ay hindi ngayong taon, hindi nung isang taon, kung hindi almost more than 2 years ago, Mr. Chairman, August 1, 2023. Kasama po dun sa video na yon yung aming gobernador, Governor Daniel Fernando, Mayor Lem, na Kalumpit, Bulacan. And just recently, the President went there. Kasama pa rin si Governor at si Mayor at nakita pa rin, Mr. Chairman, na wala hong nangyayari and it's getting worse. Another video that I'd like to share, Mr. Chairman, can we play the next video? Very short lang, Mr. Chair.
Si Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva gigil na gigil dahil drawing lang umano ang napala sa apela nilang proyekto kontra baha. Gayong may 183 billion pesos na pondo ang DPWH ngayong taon.
Nagpondo po ako ng feasibility study. It took them 2 years bago magawa yung feasibility study. After na magawa yung feasibility study, ginawa ba? Hindi po. Ngayon ba ginagawa? Hindi din.
Pero bukod sa flood control budget, meron ding flood mitigation at foreign assisted project funds ang DPWH na pag pinagsama-sama, papalo sa 280.6 billion pesos ngayong taon at 265 billion pesos sa 2024.
Mr. Chairman, August 9 po yan, 2023. 2025 na po ngayon, Mr. Chairman, at nakakalungkot po, Mr. Chairman, dahil sabi nga po ni Senator JV, 3 taon na po na para ho akong sirang plaka, paulit-ulit ho dito. And that's why I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for calling this hearing because I know that a lot of people, especially our people from the great province of Bulacan, are expecting results. Last na po, Mr. Chairman, meron pa pong isa na binanggit tayo dito sa bulwagang ito, if we can play it. Just few seconds. Abang hinihintay po, Mr. Chairman, just to put on record, 2023, ang daily budget, and this is just DPWH alone, at binanggit po ito kanina ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. In 2023, just DPWH alone, 1.079 billion a day budget. A day budget. 2024, DPWH alone, 1.342 billion pesos a day budget. 2025, this year, Mr. Chairman, 1.377 billion pesos a day budget. A day budget, DPWH alone. In the NEP for this coming 2026, in the NEP, 1.08 billion pesos a day again in the DPWH alone, Mr. Chairman. Can we play this video, please?
Management, National Government and Budget. Ngayong taon po, 2024, mas mataas po ang inilaan na budget ng Kongreso para sa DPWH alone. Dito po sa flood management, nasa 1.35 billion kada araw. Meron po ang DENR, meron din po ang MMDA, meron din po ang Pag-asa, meron din po ang Climate Change Commission. Aabutin po ito ng 1.44 billion kada araw. Hindi na po band-aid solution ang ating kailangan. Hindi po natutuwa yung mga kababayan natin na dinadala natin sila sa evacuation center. Kahit may dala po tayong relief goods, hindi na po sila natutuwa. Di naman po nila gustong pumipila lagi para makakuha ng relief goods, Mr. President. Wala na pong gusto na pumipila para makatanggap ng relief goods. Ang gusto nila, solusyon. Hanggat wala po tayong klarong solusyon o master plan, mananatili po itong anli baha. Pero hindi po only ang resilience ng ating mga kababayan. Hindi po only ang ating pondo. Hindi po only ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan.
Mr. Chairman, July 29, 2024, ang privilege speech na yan. Mr. Chairman, I can go on and on. I have few more videos to show pero hindi ko na po i-show lahat, Mr. Chairman. Alam po ni Secretary Bonoan yung 3 beses na mga pagdinig dito. Tinalakay namin yung assessment, tinalakay namin yung paggawa ng feasibility study. Ang sakit lang, Mr. Chairman, is that for the past 4 years, 1 billion a day DPWH budget lang for flood control. And hindi ko alam, Mr. Chairman, kung paano natin kayang harapin yung taong bayan na gigising sa umaga, lulusong sa baha, magtitimpla ng kape. Aalis ng bahay nila, lulusong sa baha para magtrabaho. Babalik sa bahay nila, lulusong ulit sa baha para magtrabaho. At wala pa hong bagyo yun. At ginagastusan ng 1 billion a day for the past 4 years. Tama po ang Pangulo. Dapat i-review ang mga flood control program ng ating pamahalaan, panagutin ang mga may sala sa baha. Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues, ako na ho yung makikiusap personal muli sa 3 taon na ito na may mangyari na po sa ating mga ginagawa dito dahil uulitin ko, hindi ho anli ang pasensya ng ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Joel. The next is Senator Jingo Estrada, Senate President pro tempore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will just waive my opening statement, but I would like just to ask one question. Are the contractors that were invited by this committee present? Are all of them present here?
I think 11 responded, but only 7, according to the Director General, managed to send representatives.
Why? What happened?
Karamihan sa kanila, Senator Jinggoy, nagkasakit lahat. Iba siguro ni nervyos. Sana
So, Mr. Chair, with that, I move that we subpoena them for next hearing.
Meron ng motion si Senator Bato na...
So I will just waive my opening statement so we can proceed with the questioning of these officials concerned.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you,
just a quick intervention to the subpoena. May I recommend to our the Senate President pro tempore to subpoena the owners of the corporations, not merely representatives. Kasi na subukan na natin dito yan, pag representatives, wala hong isasagot ho yan. So doon po sa General Information Sheet, The Articles of Incorporation, nakasulat ho doon sino may-ari. Papuntahin ho yung may-ari at presidente ng kumpanya. I so move.
Yes, I agree with the suggestion of Senator Gatchalian. I second the motion.
As practicable, let us invite the owners, the head, the most responsible officer of the corporations involved. Pero kung halimbawa talaga namang may legal excuses, ang ipadadala nila somebody who can bind the corporation, yung makakasagot din sa atin, to be practical. So, I will now call Senator Mark Villar for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very short lang, I just like to express my support to the committee dahil napaka-importante po ang layunin ng ating hearing ngayon dahil kailangan natin malaman kung ano nangyari, kung anong dapat gawin para ma-maximize yung budget sa flood control. Ang Pilipinas po ay napaka-prone sa baha. In fact, just this month, nung nakaraang buwan, nagkaroon tayo ng bagyo at halos 3 milyong pamilya ang apektado. So, base po sa karanasan ko bilang Secretary ng Public Works, napaka-importante po ang master planning sa flood control. Kasi pwede mong ayusin isang section at bibilis yung daloy ng tubig, pero pagdating sa ibang section na walang flood control, maiipon yung tubig, mas lalala yung baha sa ibang areas. So, napaka-importante po na magkaroon tayo at suportahan natin ang mga master plan flood control projects. And there are master plan. I am aware, may mga master plan talaga sa DPWH. Some of them are foreign-funded master plan. Some of them are each floodwater basin na may master plan. So, importante po, para sa akin, yung pondo ng taong bayan ay dapat nakatutok sa mga master plan projects ng DPWH. And of course, on the issue of yung mga substandard, of course, we have to push for more accountability sa mga projects. Dapat dagdagan pa yung mga measures natin para hindi na maulit yung mga substandard projects na nung nagkaroon ng inspection si President Marcos na may nakita siya mga substandard, ay yun ang kailangan natin solusyonan sa lalong madaling panahon dahil that's very unacceptable that we have substandard projects. So again, maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman, and of course I'd like to thank all those who are joining us today for this committee.
Thank you, Senator Mark. I now call Senator Gatchalian.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Kami rin po sa Valenzuela, hindi rin po kami ligtas sa pagbabaha. Noong 2024, kami rin po ay nagkaroon ng halos 2,000 na mga evacuees dahil binahaho kami sa Bagyong Karina. This year, another 2,000 rin po dahil binabaho kami ulit. At sa pag-ikot ho namin sa iba't ibang parte ho ng ating bansa, katulad po sa Bulacan, sa lalawigan po ng ating majority leader, sa Kalumpit at sa Hagonoy, ganun rin po ang nararanasan ho nila. Hindi lang isang beses, hindi lang dalawang beses, napakatagal ho, dekada na yung nararanasan ho nila sa baha. At kaya ho ang aking pakiusap kay Secretary Bonoan, dahil nandito ho siya, this 2026, hindi na ho pwedeng business as usual. Hindi na ho natin pwedeng ulit-ulitin yung ginagawa ho natin sa loob po na napakaraming taon na. Nakita ko ho, this 2026 budget, meron na naman 274 billion pesos for flood control. Hindi ho kami magdadalawang isip, i-zero ho to at ilagay na lang ho sa mga eskwelahan kung ang itong flood control ay magiging ampaw lang na flood control at hindi ho magiging epektibo. Dahil kung gagastos ho tayo ng 274 billion sa ampaw at hindi epektibong proyekto, ilagay na lang ho natin sa paaralan dahil yan po yung aming pinaglalaban ni Senator Bam Aquino para po makumpleto na ho natin mga pagkukulang ho natin sa ating paaralan. Sa loob po ng 5 taon, from 2022 to 2025, dumastos na po ang gobyerno ng 1.4 trillion pesos in terms of flood control projects. 1.4 trillion pesos, 1/6 of our budget pumunta ho sa flood control projects. Pero wala hong nakikitang resulta at hindi nararamdaman po ng ating taong bayan. Kaya ang aking pakiusap po kay Secretary Bonoan, tama na ho yung paulit-ulit na problema dahil nasasayang po yung ating pera. At ang tao mawawalan ng tiwala at kumpiyansa sa pagbabayad ng buwis. Kung makikita ho lang nila na yung binabayad nilang buwis, pupunta lang po sa mga ampaw at hindi epektibong project. So mamaya, Mr. Chairman, meron po akong mga nakitang mga problema sa pag-award nitong mga proyekto at ipapakita ko na lang ho mamaya, Mr. Chairman, sa ating pagdinig. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Win. Let me acknowledge the arrival of the gorgeous Senator Amy Marcos. As usual, late ka na naman. I now call on Senator Bongo for his opening statement. Sir.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. I fully support the objectives of this hearing. I want to commend our chairperson, Senator Rodante Marcoleta, for prioritizing this important issue before us. I agree with as Vice Chairperson of the Senate Committee on Finance and Vice Chairperson of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. I agree with Senator Gatchalian. Babantayan po namin itong budget for 2026. At bilang Chairman ng Committee on Health, di na po bago sa ating bansa ang paghagupit ng mga bagyo at hindi na rin po bago sa atin ang pagbaha. Pero Mr. Chair, I share the observations that despite billions of pesos for funding for flood control projects, flooding becomes worse, mas lalo pang tumataas at yung mga lugar na dating hindi naman kadalasang binabaha ngayon ay binabaha na rin. Taon-taon, pataas ng pataas ang budget para sa flood control pero pataas ng pataas rin po ang pagbabaha. At yung baha dyan sa PGH, pakita lang yung picture, hindi po na-address. Sana bigyan po ito ng priority ninyo. Mas malapit naman po ito sa atin at mas nakikita nyo. Yung pondo po sa health is less than triple ang budget ng DPWH kumpara sa health. At tuwing nagbabaha po ay hindi lamang nakaka-apekto sa mga pagmamayari at kabuhayan ng ating mga kababayan, nilalagay nyo rin po sa alanganin ang buhay ng mga kababayan natin na biktima ng bagyo. I am also particularly concerned the reports of increasing number of leptospirosis cases overwhelming our hospitals. Sa kaikot ko sa mga hospital, sila ang binabaha. Pero yung budget ng health sa ngayon, halos triple ang budget ng DPWH kumpara sa health. 880 billion ang DPWH, 313 billion lamang po ang para sa health. Sana ilaan na lang po ang pondo na mapapakinabangan po ng taong bayan para sa health sa pagtatayo at pag-upgrade po ng mga hospitals, medical assistance at PhilHealth benefits. Mas baha nga sa mga hospital ngayon, hindi naman na-address until now. At I agree with our majority floor leader noong August 9, 2023 pa lamang ay nanawagan na tayo sa DPWH. Pakita ko lang po sa screen yung video nung hearing, no? Ito. Then, ang hiningi lang po natin ay accomplishment report nyo dito sa mga taong ito. And can you submit to the committee a copy of your master plan for your flood control programs? At gusto nating malaman kung wala ba talagang na pondo dito na inilaan nyo po sa ilang taon na patuloy nyong pinupondohan at tumataas pa. At pangatlong tanong ko po, can you submit your prioritization in implementing flood control projects? That was August of 2023. More than 2 years ago na po yan. At pinaalalahanan natin kayo, dapat ilagay ang flood control sa lugar na may madalas binabaha at maproteksyonan na tao. Ang tanong natin, bakit doon nilagay sa walang tao, may flood control pero walang pinoproteksyon ng tao, walang kinokontrol na baha? Napapansin ko po sa taas na nilalagay po itong mga flood control sa walang tao at walang pinipigil na baha. Sana po inilaan na lang po ito sa mga importante pa nating mga proyekto. At ngayon rin po, sinusuportahan natin ito, lalong-lalo na po sa mga issues ngayon. I also co-authored Senate Bill number 783. Ang panukalang batas na ito ay ipagbawal na pumasok sa anumang kontrata ng gobyerno mula sa national level hanggang sa LGU.
That's 3.
Astra and B main yun.
Take it out.
Let's go!
At buhay, kaya po nating magawa ng paraan. Ang korupsyon, kaya nating pigilan. The flood problem demands the unwavering attention of the government. Let us make corrupt officials accountable. I call upon everyone here as today to carefully deliberate, draw upon expert insights, and work together for a solution to resolve this matter. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Mamaya na po magtatanong.
Thank you, Senator Bong. Before I call on Senator Bam, let me just make a clarification. The amount of 545 billion mentioned by the President, budget for flood control, are the ones which he believed awarded to the 15 contractors which he identified last August 11. The actual budget for flood control projects between July 2022 up to May 2025, per the report submitted by the Legislative Budget Research and Monitoring Office of the Senate, is 849 billion pesos. That having been clarified, I now call Senator Bam for his opening statement.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Unang-una, Mr. Chairman, we support the investigation of flood control dito po sa ating bansa. Sabi ko nga nung isang araw, hindi tayo flood control, flood out of control na po yung nangyayari. 1.4 trillion, nabanggit ni Senator Gatchalian, no? In the last 15 years, paiba-iba pa po yung numero, no? Maganda rin po siguro malaman natin dito sa ating komite kung magkano nga ba talaga yung ginagastos. Ngayon po, pataas ng pataas, 800 billion na po ang nabanggit ni Chairperson Marcoleta. Maganda pong malaman natin yan. On the first day of session, nag-file rin po tayo ng resolution number 28 to investigate flood control, but this was referred to the Committee on Public Works. So I welcome this investigation. Nung panahon po ng kasagsagan ng habagat, pumunta rin po tayo sa Macabebe, sa Pampanga, at doon po tayo nakiisa sa mga kababayan po natin doon, hanggang tuhod, hanggang bewang, hanggang dibdib, no? Papunta pong Masantol, mula pong Macabebe, pataas ng pataas po yung tubig. Doon po sa kanila, ang sinasabi nila, kami po dito kailangan ng malaking pondo talaga, no? In fact, may JICA project, may Korean project po doon, at malaking proyekto po yun. At yung isang tanong ng mga opisyal po doon, sa mga lugar na talagang flood prone, parang kulang po yung naibibigay. Pero sa mga lugar naman na parang wala namang baha, bakit merong mga flood control? Yun o siguro yung isang magandang malaman po natin. Yung isa pa, yung flood control, ano po ba talagang ibig sabihin nito? Ito ba'y dredging? Ito ba'y pagbuo ng bagong infrastruktura? Ano ba talagang ibig sabihin ng flood control para malaman rin po ng taong bayan kung bakit ganyang kalaking pera ang ginagastos ng bansa po natin, kahit yung resulta naman ay parang tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagbaha. Nais ko lang pong dagdagan yung binanggit ni Senator Gatchalian pagdating po sa classroom. No? Marami po sa amin sumuporta dun sa hearing on classrooms. Yung kakulungan po sa classroom ay dihamak maliit pa sa flood control budget ng taong ito. Yung sinasabing 50 years to do, 50 years to accomplish, or 5 years to accomplish, sa totoo lang po, mas maliit pa yun kesa sa buong flood control budget ng isang taon. No, Mr. Chairman, yung 350 billion or 500 billion na binibigay sa flood control, mas malaki pa po yun sa kailangan natin sa lahat ng classroom na kakulungan sa ating bansa. Kaya kung dito po sa ating hearing at pagkatapos po nito sa budget ay mabawasan ang mga ghost project o mabawasan yung mga flood control na hindi naman kailangan, ako po sumasang-ayon sa Chairman of Finance na ilagay na lang ito doon po sa ating classrooms na alam nating may makikinabang kaagad. Ito pong habagat, 4,000 ang classroom ayon po sa DepEd ang naapektuhan. 732 ang nawasak, 726 yung major damage, 2,600 yung minor damage. Sa lahat po ng mga classroom na yan, ang pinaka-apektado po ang ating mga kabataan. At siguro po bilang panghuling statement, gusto ko lang pong ulitin, ang lalaki ng mga perang ito. Billion-billion, trillion-trillion, ang lalawak, ang lalaki, pero sa kaduludulo ng lahat po, pag nababaha, ang pinaka-vulnerable po sa atin, ang pinaka-naapektuhan. Mga magsasaka, mga trabahador, mga workers po natin, mga estudyante, mga kabataan, mga kababayan po natin na kailangang gumising araw-araw, magtrabaho at lusong pa rin sa baha. No? Yan po yung pinaka-apektado dito po sa problema ng baha. Kaya suportado po natin ang komite at ang investigasyon pong ito para malaman natin saan ba talaga napupunta ang bilyones na nakalagay sa flood control budget. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Bam. The last for the opening statement is Senator Amy.
Yes, thank you very much. And with apologies to our chairman, inasikaso ko muna yung mga barangay at mukhang ihahabla na naman sa Korte Suprema ang kanilang eleksyon. Ganun pa man, andito ako, pinagpilitan na makahabol. Unang-una, tulad ni ex-Secretary Mark Villar, pinagpipilitan ko, alam na ni Secretary Bonoan ito, itong master plan, hindi naman tayo nag-uumpisa sa wala. Kasama po kayo noong 1978 doon sa Metro Manila Flood Control. Alam natin, noong panahon ni GMA, meron na naman, kasama na naman sina Architect Palafox doon sa flood control tungkol naman sa Ondoy. Kaya't alam natin na tumataginting pa rin yung Parañaque Spillway at yung mahiwagang dredging ng Laguna de Bay na kahit kailan sa 1.4 trillion na ginagastos natin ay hindi napopondohan. Ang laki ng aking inggit sa iba't ibang bansa na kalapit natin sa climate change efforts nila na pangkalahatan ng Singapore na meron ng barrage, meron pa silang Long Island Plan at meron naman ang Malaysia, ililipat ng buo ang kanilang capital na forever flooding sa Putrajaya, bagong lungsod. Ang Indonesia, talaga naman sikat dahil sa kanilang green infrastructure, ang kanilang community building against climate change, ang kanilang river rechanneling and maintenance. Saan naman yung ating new technology, saan atin ang long-term plan? Kung sasabihin may National Flood Control Plan, parati naman na uuwi sa unprogrammed. Huwag naman tuloy ang gawin yan. Nakikita naman natin at siguro kailangan pansinin, ikalawa, ang National Flood Control Budget nag-umpisa sa 2025 sa 368 billion, nakita naman natin sa 2026, 275 billion na lamang. So, ibig sabihin, ang laki ng agwat kapag hindi pa dinagdagan yung congressional insertions. Ibalik sana natin sa talagang kinakailangan natin at tunay na bigyan diin yung mga master plan. Put your money where your mouth is, ika nga. Ikatlo, ibig ko lang dagdagan yung sinabi rin ni Senator Win tungkol sa 15 na pinangalanan ng ating Pangulo ng mga kontratista sa flood control. Alam naman natin, dun sa 15 yon, siyam pangalan lamang. Iba ang business plan po nila, hindi naman sila nagpapatayo ng anuman, hindi sila nagpa-flood control. Ang tunay, siguro ang karamihan doon sa 15, nagpapaupa lamang ng lisensya. Alam naman natin yan. Hindi naman sila totoo o tapat na kontraktor, kundi talagang merong mga AAA, quadruple A na mga lisensya, tapos for a fee, pwede mong hiramin. Ika nga. Siguro panahon na sabi nga namin ni Chairman to pierce the corporate veil of such corporations as Legacy, the various saints that are included who are hardly saintly in their behavior, and finally come to the reality that these contractors are not building anything, least of all flood control. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Amy. I acknowledge the presence of Senator Minority Leader Tito Soto. And for your statement also, sir. Okay ka na? If you are ready.
No, I'm here to listen, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Incidentally, the Secretary of the DPWH intimated his desire to make a short statement. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Your Honors, good morning. The Department of Public Works and Highways welcomes this opportunity to clarify and present the facts regarding the data on completed flood control projects submitted by the department to the Presidential Management Staff, which became the basis for the Sombong sa Pangulo dashboard launched by the President on August 11, 2025. As reported, the Department of Public Works and Highways has recorded a total of 9,855 completed flood control projects between July 2022 until May of 2025. Of this, around 3,709 projects amounting to approximately 183 billion were actually started as early as 2020 and 2021, and only reached completion within the reporting period. This represents the continuity of multi-year efforts. We recognize the concern raised by the President during the launch of the Sombong ng Pangulo last Monday, that while thousands of projects are reflected as completed, our citizens continue to experience recurring flooding. This is not a contradiction, but a call for deeper accountability. Flood management is a complex and continuing challenge shaped by land use, siltation of rivers, climate change, and importantly,
I was today years old when I found out that the perfect pillow exists. It's none other than the Emma Sleep Foam Pillow. Emma gifted me their award-winning ergonomic pillow that's customizable to your preferences. It's easy to clean with a removable and washable cover, and it's perfect for all sleeping positions and preferences, all thanks to this game-changing feature. It's customizable foam stack where you can rearrange or remove 3 different layers to adjust its softness and height. The blue layer or the visco memory foam is for distributing pressure. The middle layer or the supportive HRX foam offers support for your head and neck, while the thinnest layer or the gel memory foam supports your head as it sinks to the pillow. You can also customize layers based on your sleeping position. If you're a side sleeper, keep all 3 layers. If you're a back sleeper, keep at least 2 to 3 layers of your choice. And if you're a stomach sleeper, keep 1 layer of your choice. All in all, I would say this is a game-changing pillow, most especially for restless sleepers like me who sleep in various positions.